Lifestealer plus Mask of Madness. Oh, this man knows. This man knows what's up. Alright guys, it's time. Let's check out the new patch notes, what we have. I'm very excited to open them and see. I'll give whatever my thoughts are. Alright, the big update preview number 2. Introducing Legion Commander and the Champion Alliance. Okay. Whoa! Champions receive all Alliance bonuses? Tier 3 Legion Commander. Legion Commander targets the lowest health enemy and they are forced to attack each other. If either hero dies during the duration, the hero winning the duel gains permanent bonus damage. What? Receives all Alliance bonuses? Holy shit! That's insane! Guys, you know what that means? Okay, let's look on average, right? Like some comps, okay? Or let's see what alliances there are. Like, okay, Assassin Alliance. Legion Commander is an assassin, okay? He gains all the plus damage from his duels and whatnot. Imagine you have 6 alliance and you have a Legion Commander in your front line. I'm guessing Legion Commander is a really tanky unit, right? What other alliance is he? Apart from thing? He's a human champion. Okay, so he can have silence as well. Interesting. So assassins, 25% chance to crit for 400% damage. Imagine it's the same thing, okay? Or elusive, 50% evasion. Legion Commander duels a unit and has 50% evasion. What else we got? Something cool. Brawn! What if you get her really early, you stack some kills, and she becomes super tanky, right? That's pretty cool too. Druids? Wait, hold on. What if she's a druid? So she grows. So you have Nature's Prophet 2-star, Trend 2-star, Legion Commander 1-star. Does it grow into a 2-star Legion Commander? Dude, there's so many possibilities for this Legion Commander, right? Warlock probably doesn't really matter that much. Primordial probably doesn't matter that much. Heartless, so she's a human already though. Does that make her heartless as well? Or how does that work? How does that actually work? Her having all the so it only gives the alliance bonuses, right? It doesn't actually give her, like, change its attribute. Like, it doesn't add on to a heartless, right? Like, let's say you have let's say you have 3 heartless and then you add Legion Commander. Does it make it into a 4th heartless? Or no? So probably it doesn't do anything, right, with heartless. That's my guess here. Hunters, gain hunter bonus. So imagine you're running elusive hunters with Legion Commander, then she's just like smashing people and they can't even hit her. Or hunter assassin. Holy shit, Legion Commander with hunter assassin bonus. She hits super fast. She just starts like 3-shotting units or something. There's some cool possibilities there. Scrappy is pretty nice for her, for Legion Commander. Becomes tankier. Dragons unlocks an additional skill. Probably doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't work. Alright, I mean that's pretty much it, right? Like the bonuses are Deadeye, Hunter, Assassins, Elusive. Right? Are those the bonuses or no? Or hold on, wait, we should think about this. Does that mean the bonus, like elusive bonus, does work or it doesn't work? Because it says here all elusive units gain plus 50% evasion. So it's not an actual elusive, right? Or it actually works. I mean, we don't know yet what the actual wording is and what does work and what not. But from what we could think about, it could be really cool. And yeah, knights as well. She can get a knight bonus, but it's probably less likely because it's not going to give the additional knight value to the other knights, right? It's just going to gain the damage reduction. But yeah, we'll see what works. But the biggest things that I'm really curious about would be assassins, elusive, druid, warrior bonus probably as well. Could be cool with her. Deadeye. Then Deadeye might screw up Legion Commander because it might be like too slow of a unit to like maneuver around a fight, right? Because it's gonna be a melee unit for sure. But yeah, Shaman could be interesting too. Tries to hex the unit that's hitting the Legion Commander. But it's pretty cool though. I like the concept. It's really cool. That's a really cool idea. Demons, I don't know how demons would work with it too, but it could be interesting if it does work. Alright, so let's move on from Legion Commander. Really hyped about this unit. That it sounds so cool. And the fact that it's a tier 3 unit, it means like has really high potential and also has the potential to become a 3-star unit at some point in the game. So that's really nice. Lifestealer and Magnus are ready to join your crew with their Brute Alliance. Brute? What is this? Wow, Doom is a brute too. Interesting. So you got Axe, Nakes, Magnus, Trent, and Doom, who's brutes. And there's 4 bars here. That means they can either have level 1 or level 2 of Brute Alliance, right? So 2 brutes or 4 brutes. Whenever a brute attacks an enemy, they deal additional damage and apply a damage debuff. Brutes prefer to attack enemies that do not have the debuff. Whenever a brute attacks an enemy, they deal additional damage and apply a damage debuff. Brutes prefer to attack enemies that do not have the debuff. So how brutes work, what it sounds like is they hit something and they get like some kind of like a minus armor. Like, for example, Slaughter, right? Like applies a minus armor to the enemy. So brutes hit a unit and now this unit has a damage debuff. Does that, wait, hold on, damage debuff, does that mean it reduces their damage? Right? Kind of like Slaughter's negative armor, but it reduces their damage. I'm guessing damage debuff means it reduces their damage. So brutes want to hit units that they already have not debuffed. So it's kind of a lot like Enfeeble, yes. I think that's what it's like. It's kind of like Enfeeble, where it reduces their damage. But I'm not sure if the damage debuff works only towards physical damage or it also works towards magical damage as well. So it reduces damage. Like, for example, Tidehunter Anchor Smash, Rubik Fade Bolt, like from Dota 2, right? Something like that. So it's quite interesting. We don't know the numbers yet in terms of like how much damage debuff they do or like if it's even that good of a spell. But it's interesting that they're adding another alliance here. This means that there's a chance that Brawnies might not even exist anymore, right? Because Brawnies and Brutes kind of sound the same, like in terms of like, you know, their alliances. So there's a chance that they might be removing it. So let's look here at the units. Tier 1. Ooh. Lifestealer's tier 1. Lifestealer attacks damage enemies and heals him for percentage of his target's maximum health. So he's a Heartless brute. So there's another 1-star Heartless unit. So does that mean that Drow Ranger... So this tells me 2 things, right? Either Drow Ranger is going to be not a Heartless anymore, or they're going to nerf Heartless. Because having 2 1-star Heartless units is going to be so strong in the early game and very cheap to gain. So it's a Heartless and a Brute. That means Lifestealer is not a warrior. He's not going to have any plus armor or anything like that. He's a 1-star. He has a very high potential to become a very strong unit. So in Dota, what Feast did is, or like what this Feast does is, the higher the HP the enemy unit has, the more damage Lifestealer did to them. So he's like a tank killer. Right, so you have like a 2000, HP unit. He does like 5% of their health, their max health as damage, and then he'll also heal himself back for that much. So anyone who's like fighting him 1v1 normally loses the fight, especially if they're tanks and they don't have a lot of DPS. So the fact that he's not a warrior makes me also think that warriors might be either changed or removed from the game as well. because I would think Lifestealer would have been a warrior, right? So yeah, but it's pretty cool. Like, he's gonna be a tank killer, but he is a tier 1 unit. There's gonna be some possibilities that he people might like 3-star him, because the later the game goes, the stronger Lifestealer actually becomes, because the other units will have more HP, right? So he's gonna be healing back more health, and he's also gonna be dealing more damage. He's gonna be bringing units low enough. So here it says he heals for a maximum of his target's percentage of his target's maximum health. So the lower the enemy unit's health is, the less that he'll heal back. So he'll heal back hitting higher health units, and he'll also deal damage if the units are higher health. So you're gonna want to probably combo it with like some finishing units, like let's say, I don't know, mages for example, right? Who have some nukes, who are really good at finishing units off. And then Lifestealer can instantly transfer into fighting another unit who has higher health. That's pretty cool. Not current HP, maximum percent HP? So he actually heals even though he heals off of their maximum health? Oh, so that's actually not bad. So someone let me know that it could be healing off their max health. So he heals like the same amount then, no matter like how much health the unit that he's hitting, right? Okay, I mean that makes sense. His DPS will be the same throughout the fight. Okay, that makes sense. But Brute makes him attack different units each time until everyone's debuffed. Yeah, it's some weird interaction, but we'll see how it works. Like what I'm thinking is, what if like, let's say Lifestealer hits a unit because he's a brute, right? But the other brutes will target other units, but the Lifestealer will stay on the unit that he's hitting, instead of him going through the entire lineup hitting everyone once, because that would be pretty dumb, right? Because then he's just gonna hit one unit, then he's gonna travel like however long to hit another unit, and he's gonna be tanking so much damage. So I'm guessing like how the Brute Alliance works, even though like they will try to hit a unit that doesn't already have a debuff, it's like another Brute will hit another unit. So there's a very good chance that could be the situation. Alright, let's move on to the next unit. Magnus. Here we go. Magnus, he's another Brute. He's also a Shaman. Magnus enrages an ally, granting them damage and cleave temporarily. He's a tier 2 unit. Ooh, he's like a supporting unit pretty much. I mean, it's like a glorified Bloodlust, right? Like, you use Bloodlust in the early game, or like you corner it later. Empower is pretty much like Bloodlust. It just gives them some damage and gives them some cleave. And it's only temporary. It's not even permanent, like how Bloodlust is in the game. And his alliances, they don't look very good. But there's a very good chance that maybe they fix Shamans into like another effect, right? They will change the Shaman effect into something else. So like, we can't really judge how good this guy is, but in this current like, let's say meta, or the current alliances, how they are, I would say Magnus wouldn't be a very good unit. Because Empower, like, we can compare it to Bloodlust, and Bloodlust already is not a very good like tool to use, because it has very bad alliances as well. It has a mage and it doesn't do anything in mages. Then it's also a Bloodbound, and Bloodbounds are shit, right? Here Magnus is a Brute Shaman. Shamans currently are not very good to begin with, right? It's just 70% chance if you hit the unit you become a chicken. Okay, whatever. Brutes, like, this is gonna heavily depend on how good the numbers on Brutes is, right? Like how much the damage debuff is worth, and how much, like, let's say casting Empower on your Lifestealer, for example, is worth, right? So yeah, I really don't expect Magnus to be a very good unit. I think they had some potential to make Magnus into like a 4-cost unit, into like a team fighter with RP or something. That could have been really cool. But yeah, Empower, not too hyped about this Empower, but there's some, like, it really depends on the numbers, right? Like, what if Empower at level 2 is giving plus 100 damage to a unit and like 50% cleave, right? We don't know. But if it's something like that, then yeah, Magnus might be a really good unit in that sense. So we need to, in this case, because it's like an ability that grants damage, we need to like really see the numbers in order to value it. But I like Lifestealer. No matter what numbers it gives, it's gonna be a pretty cool unit, I think. The only concern I have about it is there's no warrior, so it's gonna be hard to judge because we don't know how much HP pool he has or how much armor he has. If let's say like at a 2-star Lifestealer he gets like 10 armor or something, like how Axe is, he might be really, really good. And you throw on like a chainmail on him, he's gonna be friggin' good. He's gonna be so tanky, he's gonna lifesteal a lot of health every fight. He's gonna hit the enemy tanks, he's gonna rip through them. He could be a really interesting unit. I'm really hyped for Lifestealer. I'm really hyped for Legion Commander. It looks really interesting. And one thing I will say is that because they put Doombringer and Axe in this Brute Alliance, there's a very good chance that Warriors might not be existing. Maybe they do exist, I'm not sure. But also Brawny. Either Brawny or Warriors, I think, are probably going to be removed as alliances. Or reworked. One or the other. So there's a good chance that Brute might just be a rework of Brawnies. But yeah. This is a nerf to Warriors. Brawnies will cease to exist. Yeah, probably. There's probably a nerf to Warriors with that Lifestealer, but I mean, we'll see, right? Like, everything changes, right? If we remember how Warriors became meta, is because they changed Savages. Savages don't do pure damage anymore. They don't ignore armor anymore. That's why Warriors became so popular, right? 6 Warriors became popular. Before, Savages were dumpstering these Axes, Tinies, Tusk, all these units. And now, they're not working. So, we don't really know if Warriors even need a nerf. You might just add a bunch of these, like, you know, different alliances, and they might be making Warriors worse. Right? So we'll figure it out as we go. If he's a tank, he can transform a lot of people into chicken. Imagine Pudge with 70%. Yeah, it could be interesting for that. But you still need to add another Shaman unit, which most Shamans are not that good. Like, you need to add, like, what? Shadow Shaman or Arc Warden, who's a 4-cost unit, right? But yeah, it could be interesting. I mean, for me, I think that they're gonna change his spell. But yeah, I can see how some use in it. Like, if he's as tanky as Pudge, then sure, you're gonna use it, right? Like, if at tier 2 he has 2,500 HP, I think any unit will be used, for sure. So that could be a way how they could balance Magnus to be a more usable unit. That's true. So it's like he kind of has like a disable, right? So yeah. Tank comp with Arc Warden. Yeah. Alright, well, that's it for the new patch. It looks really, really cool. I love it. I mean, I love this one more than I love the healer plus the bug one. I love this idea of Legion Commander. Freaking champion. Champions receive all alliance bonuses. Like, this unit is gonna have some really interesting interactions. But it really depends on like what this actually means in terms of all alliance bonuses. Does that mean like demons work for her, or like does it negate the demon effects if you have only one demon, or like what other alliances there are, right? Like brutes, for example, she's also like Legion Commander is gonna be a brute, you know, like, or what's that other alliance? The bug alliance, right? Like this healer alliance, right? Like what is it, how do they interact? Or insect alliance. Like what if Arc Warden gets healing from warlocks or something? When she casts duel, then is she gonna heal like a shit ton of health because of the healer alliance or something? Like we really don't know what the other alliances look like, but the potential for Arc Warden is just limitless right now. So this unit is gonna be by far like the most interesting unit to see. And then Lifestealer is really cool too. So I like it. I like this patch notes they just gave, or not patch notes, but like the preview they gave. Really hyped now that I've seen these two guys.